The Woman Who Kept the Sunlight. Once upon a time, in a quiet village tucked beneath the green hills, there lived an old woman alone in a little house near an ancient banyan tree. Her hair was white as clouds, her face lined with time, yet she radiated a warmth so tender it reminded everyone of the morning sun. Though life had never been kind, her husband had long passed and she had no family nearby, no one ever heard her complain. Each morning, she set a bamboo chair beneath the banyan's shade and sat there, waiting with a smile for anyone who might pass. It didn't matter if it was a tired farmer or a tearful child. Everyone was welcomed with the same gentle smile and eyes filled with kindness. She owned no riches, yet inside her was a treasure greater than gold. Peace, compassion, and unwavering faith in goodness. The villagers called her the Keeper of Sunshine, for near her, hearts always felt a little warmer. The village itself was a place of hardship. People farmed the land through sun and storm, carved wood from the forest, or sold humble goods in a tiny market. In good harvest years, life bloomed. Children ate full meals, and adults breathed easier. But in the years of drought, when rain refused to fall and crops withered, the air grew heavy with silent worry. Illness was another shadow. They had no clinic, and families often carried the sick over hills in search of help. Hunger, fatigue, and quiet despair lived behind every door. And yet, when the burden grew too heavy, people found themselves drawn to the same place, the old woman under the banyan tree. She never had solutions or money to give, but her presence alone was enough to calm restless hearts. One dusk, a young woman named Lena came to her. Her eyes were swollen from tears, her hands trembling as she clutched a worn cloth holding dry bread for her children. Her voice broke as she spoke. "My husband went to the city to find work nearly 2 months ago. We haven't heard from him. No letters, no money. The children keep asking why there's less food. I don't know what to do anymore." The old woman placed her fragile but steady hand on Lena's. Her voice was soft yet firm. "My dear, when darkness fills the heart, all we see is fear. But if you plant a single seed of hope, miracles can take root." Lena looked at her, and for the first time in weeks, a flicker of light sparked in her eyes. It was faint, but it was real. And that was enough to begin a change. The old woman continued, "If you only think of what's broken, your heart will grow heavy. Every negative thought is like a stone. One by one, they pile up until you can no longer carry the weight. But if you pause and place just one seed of hope in its place, the world begins to shift." Lena asked, "But how can I think of anything good when everything around me is falling apart?" The old woman smiled and shared a story. There was once a man who had nothing left, not a home, not a family, only torn clothes and aching feet. One day he sat by a river and cried. An old woman walked by and asked why he wept. He said, "I have nothing left to live for." She smiled, pointed to the river and said, "You still have cool water, gentle wind, and sunlight on your face. Happiness isn't having everything. It's seeing what's already here." Lena sat quietly. Then the old woman whispered, "Life doesn't change through magic, but through how we choose to see it. When your heart is bright, the path ahead begins to shine." The next morning, Lena rose early. Before the sun had fully climbed over the hills, she whispered to herself, "Today will be a good day." At first, the words felt small, barely enough to push back the storm inside. But she repeated them each morning, like a quiet promise to herself. She began tending to the garden she had long ignored, planting, weeding, watering. She read to her children and told them stories instead of letting worry rule her days. Though money was still tight, something in her had changed. She was no longer just surviving. She was beginning to live again. Her smile returned, her eyes sparkled, and every day she repeated, "Today will be a good day." Not because everything was better, but because she was stronger. Then, one autumn afternoon, a child ran to her, waving a wrinkled letter from the city. Lena's hands shook as she opened it. The handwriting was familiar. It was from her husband. He had found work. It wasn't much, but enough to send money home. He missed her. He would return as soon as he could. Tears streamed down her face, this time with joy. She held the letter to her chest and ran to the banyan tree. The old woman was there, smiling gently, as if she had known all along. "You see," she said, "when you hold on to hope, goodness finds its way to you. Not because the world changes, but because you opened your heart to let it in." Lena nodded, her face shining. Her transformation didn't go unnoticed. The village saw the change, how Lena worked, how she smiled, how her children laughed again. They began asking what changed her. And slowly, they all learned of the old woman by the banyan tree, the one who gave no money, but something greater, faith in what is good. More people came, farmers with failed crops, mothers raising children alone, shopkeepers with no sales. Each received the same gentle smile and one quiet message. When you think of good things will come. Not because life is easier, but because you are stronger. The village still had struggles, but the despair faded, because within every heart, a small flame had been lit, flickering gently, yet enough to light up an entire day.